put up that slide. Everybody were watching that slide as I was talking to you, and as I said, that is the slide that runs your entire marketing activity. Hi, Gopal Krishna. Good afternoon. And we started recording. I think it's recording is on.
Yes, sir, it's recording.
Recording, right? Okay, good. So we'll continue further. And let me now, I think this is the one. Okay, let me start our conversation on a slightly lighter note, but obviously with all my conversation there's a greater motive that I'm trying to achieve out of this. So for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to get your attention to this. You need to you don't have to shout out your answers. I'm going to give you, as always, a Google form to fill up. But I believe most of them are something that you know who's the author or what's the book about. And this, of course, is not going to, what is the word for that? I'm not going to grade you for this. I'm not going to grade you for this, which means that you attempt and do it pretty badly. That's okay. You don't. It's just that at the end of the day, each of these books are very carefully chosen to give you a reason as to why you should be reading them. And so some look very familiar, some don't look very familiar. I hope you guys can answer all of it. And let's take no more than 10 minutes to give you to get your answers in. And we'll see how to, where is the chat mode? So go ahead, answer, take a shot at it. I'll give you all 10 minutes to, not even 10 minutes. I guess 5 minutes is good enough for you to take a shot at it. I'm going to go back to these screens. And if you, are you able to access the form?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So
No, sir. Where's the form, sir?
where's the form? Where is the form? The form is in the chat. Correct? Did you get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's clock ourselves 1:38, 1:45. Should be good enough for you all. We don't even need that much. Quick answers. And then we'll discuss why am I putting all this here. And then we will move forward in today's conversation. Sometimes a picture helps, so I'm just switching between the two. Those of you who have completed it can let me know that you're done. Hi, Rukmini. Hi, Kavita. Easy or tough? Why do we what we have to do here?
You have to identify the author.
Identify the author. Yes, Arjun. Actually, yeah, you got 8, Meghna. That's pretty good.
Yes. Inner engineering is the best. I really like that book.
Oh, you like inner engineering? That's by Sri Ravi Shankar, right?
No, it is Jaggi Vasudev.
Yeah, come on. We both could have confused the rest of the folks, right?
Okay, I'm really sorry. Sadhguru is like my like I can say I appreciate him a lot, and his
Yeah.
thoughts are very nice to
You
me.
know what? I was telling somebody that I was in Mysore.
Okay.
So this time, Mysore pandemic, you also have to be very careful. So we went to a place. I mean, we went and sat on that exact rock where Sadhguru is supposed to have got his, whatever you call it, the.
Such beautifully written book. Seriously, I kind of try experiencing that things that he has written and how he experienced each and every bit of that nature. But it's very hard for me. But I really appreciate how he puts it into our head when we are reading it. It's
Perfect.
really nice.
Perfect. Which one did you get wrong? Or you cannot make out that? Is that possible? That I don't know. How I.
Yes, Professor, we can look at the answers.
Yeah, imagining India. Sorry, imagining India.
No way. No way you can get that wrong.
I don't know. I got confused between two of them, so yeah, I got that wrong.
And Arun Bha Ghosh got 7. Not bad. Zamir got 5. Why is that? Okay, so I think we're done, right? I mean, this is good enough. Are we ready to move forward, or you guys want some more time to get a hang of yourselves? What about anybody else? Kurat, you this is your class 2, and how have you done so far? Have you got 10 out of 10, I'm sure. And no. Okay. We can move on. For perfect. So how much did you get, Srinivas? I wouldn't read books. So you got 9. Yashwant got 9. Okay, good. So there you go. You got 9, 9. Okay, perfect. I don't know which one did you get it wrong. This was the link, and these are the answers. These are the answers, and there's a reason why I want to have you look at these. Um, every one of these books are the books that you must read. I mean, they are by default the new Bibles of management. Some of them being personal biographies of great individuals, some of them are autobiographies, or some of them are thought lines of great business leaders. But each one of them has something. Siddharth, you must read more. And each of them have some wonderful stories to tell you. And Abhinandan, great, good job. And this, of course, most of you, Imagining India is by Nandan Nilekhani. I hope everybody got Mahatma Gandhi right, right?
My experience was too.
Yeah, I didn't even give
Only
you an
one
option.
option.
Yeah, there was no option. I can say, Professor.
Yeah, I didn't want you to think twice before you answer that. I didn't want you to think twice. So against all odds,
At
I'm
least
sure
we got
most
one.
of you must have not guessed that against all odds, which was possibly a tough one. I don't know, maybe Sachin Tendulkar, how many of you got it? Was very nice. Okay, good. But why go through all this? Is that these are books that you must read. And these are, as you can see, the earlier slide was international figures of repute and books of reading. The second slide had books from Indian authors or Indian business leaders. But how do you begin for somebody like Anita, or somebody who said I got 3, somebody who says I don't read books? Where do you start? If you're going to be a management guy, if you're going to take your life seriously, if you believe that you've spent money and you're going to read it, I want you to start reading this gentleman. His name is Yuval Noah Harari. He's one of the finest authors of this century. And he wrote how many books? He wrote some 3 books. Okay, he wrote, first book was called The Sapiens. It talks about how man evolved. Then he talks about Homo Deus. Then he says, how will man evolve? Right? It talks about how man came from being an ape to what you and I are. And then he talks about, you're currently reading Sapiens. Excellent. Excellent. You've read the first 2 books. Brilliant. Nice to see that some of you are all reading that. And then he came up with what's probably the most best of the books, which is 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. And he talks about what is going to happen, what will be the effect of artificial intelligence, what could be, how do we lose. If you look at yourself, maybe a crowd of 100 of you, 70% or 70 jobs that you are doing, or 70 of you are having jobs which were possibly unheard of 20 years back or 25 years back. I mean, if you told somebody in 1990 that I'm a big data analyst, they would laugh at you. So he is talking about who is likely to lose his job and what kind of jobs will come up, who is going to be replaced by artificial intelligence. And this guy loves to write big fat books, hundreds of pages and all that. But who has the time to read, right? I mean, we are all in the new world. We love fast forwarding Netflix also. So I suggest you start reading by reading an extract called Money, an extract which is probably 20, 30 pages of Yuval Noah Harari. Start reading that. For all of you who say that I don't read books, force yourself to read this, and then I hopefully will find you a interesting way to start off. Good, right? I hope you enjoyed these 10 minutes. And before I get into the act, this is our global chart. We always keep coming back here, and I'm going to spend more time today talking about product, price, promotion, and place. Before I get there, I'm going to do what is called I'm going to do a case study for you all, and then we will come back to this subject. So let me see where save. Okay, save, good enough. Now, just give me a minute. Let me get this sorted out. Where is the okay? Share screen. Okay. Okay, good. I'm sure you all can see this now. So we're good to go. Can you see it?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So I'm going to do a quick case study. I want you to understand the nuances of this case study, and then we'll get into the subject matter as such. Okay. So a case study. Okay, this is all there. We're talking about Tata. Obviously, if you look at the title, it says case study of Tanishq. So we look at Tata. Tata has huge divisions, right? Tata is truly very diversified from what do you call Tata as a company, from salt to software or something like that. They keep calling themselves. So they are into lots of things. So Tata has three, the way I look at it, or where the case study presents itself, they have three markets, huge markets, dull, boring markets like salt and tea. They sell salt, Tata Namak. They also have Tata Chai, I guess. And they have it's boring business, right? I mean, what innovation can you bring into salt that overnight everybody switches to your brand? Same with tea. They also have a very open, not as dull a business as salt and thing, but they also have another line of business which is watches and hotels. Things happen, watches. Less and less people are buying watches, according to me, but I could be wrong. And obviously, hotels are having their own cyclic problem. Some businesses like hotels are cyclic, they get occupied during certain months and seasons of the year. And something like salt has business all around the year. They also have very selective niche markets like Starbucks is their new association. They also have Tata Chai. They also have Titan, which is their watches division, and of course they have Tanishq. So this is what the story is. This is something that we learned, read, so I will not get in there. And we'll talk about Tanishq. Brilliant investment commodity, right? I mean, everybody wants to buy. Your internet is unstable. Okay, are you guys able to hear me well?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. So this is how gold keeps going up and down and all that. And so Tata, when I say Tata today, maybe the only company that comes to your mind is TCS, depending on where you are, or you talk about Tata DTH. But for a company which was in the early 80s and 90s, they were largely Tata Steel and kind of companies that they were there. And Tata did make a brilliant move to get into manufacturing watches, which previous to that was largely a market held by HMT and maybe few other non-consequential players. And they did some brilliant business, and the move was probably very excellent for them to do. Mute yourself so that it's easy for us. And that was when that Tata decided that Titan itself should move into a jewelry business in 1995. The jewelry business in 1995 was very, very different from where we see it today. I believe that I don't think there are many of you who were not born in 1995. If there are, I'm sure a very small percentage of you are there. So you probably have some understanding of how fragmented the gold business was at 1995. So Titan decided or Tata decided that we will go into it and enter the market. They enter the market, they made a mess out of things. things went from bad to worse. In 3 years, they accumulated huge losses. They just were not able to get a grip of the things. Sometimes we are so confused about what's happening around us that we don't even know how to begin on where to go about it. Exactly a situation like that was what Tanishq was doing. They even decided that we better get out of this business. This business is not for us. And then they said, let's do a final shot at it, understand why we are not doing well, what is it that is going wrong, why is it that people don't like us, and then they did a market research. So when you do a market research, you go and get the pulse of the people and try to understand what went wrong. And that's why marketing is very helpful, is because it's probably the only line of any company which connects to the customer. And they made some very interesting observations. What kind of observations did they do? So if you look at it, for any case study, there are two very important parameters that we should do. A case study is a time-based case study. So what happened in the pandemic of 1918 may be a certain amount of base for your learning for the managing the pandemic at 2020, but what was obviously done then may not work today, because the world has changed, world has moved, but we have some basic learnings that we do. So the story of 1995, when Tata and Titan got into the gold business, was that it was totally unstructured. I mean, there was nothing was organized. It was really messy business. People always wanted to buy gold from their family jeweler. They had somebody called a family jeweler. Your mother and dad bought from there. Their parents bought from there. And there was a long, healthy, friendly relationship between the family jeweler and yourself. He probably allowed you to pay after a few weeks, or you trusted him completely. He not only sold you the gold, he also attended the wedding, and it was that kind of a relationship. And people also bought gold for two things. They bought gold because that's a joyful activity. You when you go to buy gold, you dress yourself in the best of your silks. And they also buy gold because it's an investment. We hope to never sell that, but we all know that gold is an investment. Second is that people also borrowed money to buy gold for their daughter's marriage. So it doesn't matter, even if your earnings are low, but you must borrow. Make sure that there is enough gold for the marriage. Now, if this is the background, Titan walks into this business. Now, what is Titan? Titan is a Tata company. And what is Tata? Tata manufacture trucks and watches. What can they do about gold jewelers? They have no background in the business, and nobody trusted them. And Titan did something else very funny. What did they do? They said that, oh, we brought some westernized watches. We brought the slimmest of the watches. We bought watches which copied European designs. So let's bring gold jewelry with a Western concept. So they said, let's bring in. The world is going forward. India is developing. India is galloping. In 1995 is one of the finest periods of Indian economic history. So they brought in. And for those of you who have traveled abroad, you would notice that most of the gold in outside of India is 18 karat. 18 karat allows you to be, I think, brings in more shine or whatever the logic is. So they said, let's also bring in 18 carats. With this background, they introduced their products. There was a huge loss, and Titan, as the slide says, started doubting what is going to happen. So they did market research. What was the market research results of the market research? Is that Western designs had very few takers. Nobody wants to buy Western designs when it comes to such a costly investment. So I remember years and years back when I went with my wife to a jewelry shop. There was an old, the typical expression is an old mommy there, and when we were looking for some earrings or something, she said, no, 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 don't buy this. These are buy traditional earrings. They look good on you. So you see, Western designs at that time had very few takers. And 18 karat gold is not gold. Nobody buys 18 karat gold. And especially for those of you who've traveled abroad, your wife will insist that don't buy gold from there because 18 karat is no gold. And a company like Tata, Tata knows how to manufacture trucks, but no way can they manufacture gold jewels. Wrong. No customer confidence. So they were a wrong brand. They were positioning themselves wrong, and they didn't know what to buy. What is it that they were trying to do? Is that if they just introduce traditional designs, then they are no different from anybody else. So bringing in traditional designs is no big deal. They have to get the first marketing word is USP, the unique selling point. What is the unique selling point of Titan or Tanishq? If it's similar to anybody else, why would anybody want to go there? If product A is similar to product B and I'm used to product B, why would I go to product A? The second is that the customer must trust you. You see, the biggest problem that Titan or Tanishq, I keep switching between the two things, but I'm sure you will gather up with me, is that they were trying to enter into a market. There was huge trust between the buyer and the seller. And the trust went down generations. So how do you come and break that kind of a relationship? Finally, by bringing in Western designs, you may be impressing the bride, but then the bride doesn't buy it. The bride walks into the gold store along with her mother, her grandmother, and so many people that you have to position yourself. The second word, and we're going to discuss that word positioning later in today's class, is that what are you positioning yourself as? Are you positioning yourself as the forward-looking women of India? Are you addressing them, or are you looking at the traditional grandmother? They were so confused. So no wonder Tanishq was not doing well. Now, with that understanding, the most easiest thing to do is what? The most easiest things to do is to move from 18 carats to 22 carat. That's a product change. The first P of the 4 Ps. So it's very easy. Tomorrow you go ahead and say all 18 carat will be replaced by 22 carat. No more Western designs. We will come out with traditional design. That's easy, but that alone is not enough for you to swing the market. You need to do much more. What is that much more? Is that you need to understand your competition. You need to understand who is my competition. What am I against? And we all know that you must know the weakness of your competition. That's why we had the SWOT analysis. What are my strengths? Need not always be my weakness. It can also be the weakness of the other person, the weakness of the competition. Similarly, the weakness of the competition in the case of Jio was that Airtel and everybody else were stuck on huge debt on their 2G, 3G networks, and they were still trying to get the best out of it. That Jio decided that we'll just jump into 4G, and it's left for the competition to catch up with us. So you must know your competition's weakness. So what did they understand? That the relationship between the customer and the seller, that is the family jeweler, was faith without proof. The guy told you it is 22 carat, you believed him. The guy told you it is 14,000 rupees, you believed him. There was no mechanism, there was no logic in pricing. And uniquely, you cannot go and compare a Samsung, I don't know what model, an iPhone 11 at Sangeet stores versus an iPhone 11 at some other store. You can do a comparison. But how do you compare two beautiful looking earrings at two different places? There's no way you can do a pricing comparison. Second is that when you try to sell the old jewel, the jeweler always would say, no, this is from somebody else. I don't believe in this jeweler. He's not reliable, and hence I'm going to undervalue it much, much lower. So no logic for gold exchange, and that was another problem that they realized that the competition was. Second thing they realized was these family jewelers had a very captive base. That means to say that if it was the jeweler in Manipal or if the jeweler in Bhubaneswar, he was not only in Bhubaneswar, in small section of Bhubaneswar, in small area of Bhubaneswar is where his base was. So he had a very, very, very small base of customers, probably a distance of 4 or 5 kilometers, and thereby his customers. And the last of it, they never gave you bills. There was very pure documentation. He couldn't be caught, you couldn't hold him as such. So this was what the marketing research came up with. Now, once they came up with, they said, okay, let's handle one by one each of the problems. They said that the customers are blindly believing the jeweler, but they are not believing us, who we say are a corporate entity. So what did they do? The first thing was that to prove to the customer that the jeweler that you are believing was actually taking you for a ride. So what did they do? They introduced a meter called the carat meter. The carat meter, if some of you are aware of it, works very simple. You go keep your ring or necklace or whatever that is in that box. It would non-contact, it would come up and tell you what's the purity level. And so they started inviting people. They said, you don't have to buy Tanishq gold. No, you don't have to even buy it. Just walk in and check your own gold. So lots of people who were even hesitating to walk into the Tanishq showrooms would walk in not to buy, but would walk in to check the purity of the gold that they bought. And what was the result that they found? That over 60% of the gold that they had bought from their trusted jeweler was not even 18 karat, forget it. Not even 22, not even 18, and many a time much less than that. So the first physical barrier of connect with the customer broke away. So they began to convince them that somebody that you were trusting was not really delivering you what you trusted. So a little amount of, can you mute yourself? A little amount of customer confidence. And what does customer confidence turn into? More and more people walking into the showroom. And obviously more footprints into the showroom obviously translates to more sales. So that was the first victory that Tanishq had. What is the second thing that they did? Is that they said, if you look at that long list of market research, they said there was pricing without logic. We all know, and I don't know how many of you would agree, that there was a time when they would say, Kochi is the best place to buy gold because all these guys from Gulf would come.
Yes, sir.
Yes, hiding their gold in their shoe and where not, and then selling it. So Kochi is the cheapest place to buy gold. But then somebody would say, no, don't buy gold from Cochin, buy it from Mumbai, because Mumbai, there's an easy track from Karachi to Mumbai. They bring a lot of gold. So the buyer is confused. That's the second thing, pricing without logic. So Titan saw this. Again, pricing is one of the 4 P's, remember. So pricing, what did Titan say? Let's get this. Titan said, we will have one uniform pricing all over the country. Okay. And what was that? They said, one India, one price. Brilliant. So it doesn't matter whether you go to Kochi or you went to anywhere else, the price of gold was same. So one headache solved. Can you mute? Then the second one was that, what is this price, by the way? What is the logic for this price? They say the price in Titan. Does anybody know the price of gold today? One who's regularly buying every day? I don't know. So maybe
55, 50, 53, I think. Sir.
Oh, you bought yesterday something?
No, sir. I mean, someone my relative.
Yeah. Correct. Good. I hope your wife knows about it. Okay. Okay, good. So 53,000. So what is the basic for 53,000? What is the basis for 53,000? You went and bought it at the family jeweler, he would say 57, and there was anyway no basic. But now Titan said one price, one India price. They said this price is linked to the price of gold at the London Metal Exchange. So there you go. No confusion on price. Actually, somebody like Enjapa can go open the London Metal Exchange price and confidently walk into a Titan or Tanishq showroom saying that, yes, this should be the price because we have a link to it. So once you start addressing one P, second, you start addressing the second P, which is pricing, you then start developing a more closer relationship with your customer. And this obviously built in confidence, built in trust, and then they started moving up the ladder. Then what was the next policy? What is the next policy? They said that if you don't trust your customer, and if you look at the beauty of Amazon, is that when I'm trying to buy something, it says that, what is that? No questions asked exchange policy or refund policy. Is that especially when it comes to certain things that you're not sure whether you should buy them or not, you look at it and then say, no problem, I can always return it in 10 days or 12 days. And I don't know how many of you have experienced it, but they largely honor and trust you. You call them and say, I bought this, I didn't like it. They say, it's okay, no problem, I'll take it back. So that brings you greater confidence, and that brings you what is more important. You are willing to take more risk in buying a product. So similarly, Titan said, we, and all of us know, and I may be the leader of this gang, that if you ever went shopping with your wife and then she bought herself a sari, next day morning, where are you both likely to go back? Can you complete the sentence? I will do it for you. You're most likely to go back to the shop to exchange it because she said she didn't like it, right? So it happens mostly on a psych, is that we want to go back and exchange it. So Titan said, it's okay. You want to exchange it. And remember, this is 95, 96, 97. What you are seeing today is the norm, was not the norm then. It was Titan who actually broke into a lot of these things. And all these gold, I can't think of some names, Khajana or half a dozen Tanga Maligais or whatever it is. They all are just following the footsteps of a leader called Tanishq and Titan. So they said, you come back and we won't ask you any questions. it doesn't matter if 3% or 5% of them actually are cheating the process. But they said, it's okay, we'll give you 100% refund without any questions asked. That resulted obviously in more sales and more business. The third thing, if you notice, if you look at it, faith without proof, perfectly handled. Pricing mechanism, perfectly handled. Then no mechanism or logic for gold exchange, perfectly handled. And then came up the third point is that they realized that their competition were these family jewelers who were very isolated, who were in small pockets within the city. So one big decision that Titan took at that time was that, should I open 100 stores in 100 cities, or should I open 100 stores in 20 cities? The logic which they had was that I had to open many stores in a single city so that I can break down the dominance of the local jeweler. And I'm able to do a huge, massive attack on a particular city. That is why you are more likely to find branches of Titan in multiple places in a city. So what they did was they opened up multiple branches, and hence they were able to further cut down the interaction that the existing customers had with their family jewelers. That again is what? This is place, the other P that we are talking about. Okay, so next we had next. So as you can see, everything was addressed. They were also giving. Just give me a minute. कुलवीर, मैं आपको एक आधे घंटे में फोन करता हूँ. Okay. And so and obviously, Titan, they give you all the documentation very, very well. So now Titan was able to move away from a very, very confused buyer to a buyer whom they had conquered. Now, all they had to do was to increase their revenue. So what is it that the next things that they did? They did some very interesting things. They started making what they had initially planned, that is 18 karat gold, because that was the initial plan. So they started buying of gold as a spontaneous decision, not necessarily a planned event, which means that you walked with your friend and then you felt good or you felt nice, you got an increment. Just walk into a store and reward yourself, or what is the word? Spoil yourself with a small purchase, so that you could buy yourself gold for as low as $4,000. So then they really were able to connect with it. And then they also started getting into a gold gift scheme, which means that you could just write a check or give a gold gift voucher to somebody else and things like that. These are some things that you are now very familiar with and makes no point in conversing about it. That is what they did today. And so now Tanishq is a very established brand, is a leader there, and they are now known to be reliable, trustworthy, and growing. So this was a case study on Tanishq, a very, 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 very primitive case study. It doesn't get into it. It only tells you how the 4 Ps get into a line of thought process. And lastly, I possibly have a slide. Yes. Okay, this is, so now with the success of Tanishq, they plan to launch Skin. I don't know how many of you know that they have a perfume brand called Skin. But do you think they can do the same thing whatever they did with Tanishq, will they be able to do it with skin? Will they be able to use the same kind of method and approach? No, it won't. That situation warrants a certain action. This situation warrants a certain action. There is no loyalty here. I mean, I don't know. I'm not much of a user of these products, but then I guess people keep changing them all the time. So there is no loyalty. And then I'm sure that you get better perfumes, you travel overseas, and these are priced at 49 rupees, 50 rupees. So how does somebody like Skin enter into a market? There you go. I'm open for questions for the next few minutes before we get into a subject. Any questions? Absolutely clear?
Sir, should we get this? Sir, should we get this in the PPT form in the LMS?
Yeah. Of course.
Okay.
Sir, how do this the gold, whatever the original gold they bring it from source, you will impact their profit margins for Tanishq?
No. The question is standardizing of pricing.
Yeah.
Standardizing of pricing will obviously give you the feel good factor. I don't know how many of you have. I'll give you an example that. We all have to think about pre-pandemic examples. How many of you have actually walked into stores in the airport lounges? And if you, I remember in Hyderabad, you have a lounge store, which is the Karachi bakery store. I don't know how many of you remember that. If you've been.
Yes, sir.
So now the first thing that you do, Karachi bakery, or for my friend in Gurgaon and Delhi, you go into Terminal 3, you find a Haldiram outlet. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to ask them, is this the same pricing as outside, or is it priced differently? Correct? Because you know that if you were to order a meal in outside the airport, and inside the airport, the inside airport will be at least twice as costly, a meal or a paratha or a sandwich. But so the moment you walk in, they say, sir, same price as outside the airport. So that gives you a greater confidence. So the pricing mechanism only helps them get greater confidence for the person to make a decision to buy. So you don't have to worry that I'll have to go all the way to Bombay to buy gold. It doesn't matter where you buy gold, from Bombay or anywhere else, or from Malleshwaram or Jayanagar. You like the model, you buy it because the pricing is the same. So that was the point that they were trying to do.
Right.
Make sense?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Anything else? Any other questions? Perfect. Okay. Now we will then get on to our topic. I mean, do I see anything on the chat? Okay, good. Kudos to plugging in Deepika. Okay, good. So now for the new share. If I end up opening too many PowerPoints, I end up having a problem. Okay, so let me open this now and we will have that. Can you see this slide? Obviously, yes, right? Okay. So we did this quiz, we did all this, we did this, we are stuck here. We are stuck here all the time. So we're going to talk about the 4 P's. Product, we ordered all this mission statement, all that is done. We did SWOT analysis. Oh, we need to do. We had this page that we were stuck with. Product, price, product, price. Is there an order? Is there an order in which this has to be told? Anybody can tell me how it should be read, or it can be read in any order.
So it
Is that-
starts from product.
Oh, is that so? Is that, I mean, you mean their product is the most important thing?
Promotion.
Promotion
start
is the most.
price. Start
Price
from
is
the
the most
place.
important thing. Oh,
Start from the place.
start from the place. Now I'm
Yes.
confused. Where do I start?
From
Start
product.
from the place.
Price and promotion.
Place and
Look at
promotion.
both the sides.
Apart from the price.
Without knowing what to sell, everything else.
But without knowing how much to sell, what do you do?
No. I mean,
No, without knowing the
what
product
to
as well as the
sell,
price, we can't decide.
without
which
knowing
way to go.
product, what to sell, place, promotion, price are all irrelevant.
But if without knowing what the price that the customer will buy, why get into manufacturing the product? Why
It's
manufacture?
dependent on the cost involved in producing.
Okay. But where would you produce if you don't know where to sell it? You
If we don't
make
have a
you can make
product,
the best burger buns in small town, but the place where they are required is Bangalore. It could be very cheap in small town, Timbuktu. So, is product important or place?
Product.
Place.
Place. So what am I trying to drive you guys? What am I trying to drive you? Is that I'm trying to drive you guys to a point of discussion that all 4 play a very important role in your lives. And there is a general thing, and I'm sure you will start realizing it as you go ahead, that we have a tendency to believe that price is very important. A price match ho gaya to sab match ho jayega. Price ho gaya to everything will be there. But that's a very wrong concept and the greatest misconception that people have in most of the world is that how do I get to a price point? Now, price is only that much important, and the price can be camouflaged with a promotion. And let's say there are 2 packets of chips. The 2 packets of chips, excellently, they both have the same product. They all come from the same potato. They all come from the same farmer in Punjab who is right now sitting with the PM and the rest of them and talking to all of them. It's the same product. So, and one fellow is saying it's 51 rupees, another guy is saying 101 rupees. So the guy with 101 rupees saying, oh, it gives, you crunch it to it, it gives you a feeling of ecstasy. So that's enough. Yeah. How you promote it, somebody really wants to have ecstasy, especially when you crunch potato chips with some nice food by the side. So it's all about promotion as much as it is about price, and it is all about place with everything else. You don't care what kind of a popcorn, you don't care how much of water is there in that ice cream, because that's the only popcorn and the only ice cream that is available to you during the interval when you get out of the PVR. And he says, sir, 129 plus GST, and you have no option if you have a 7-year-old guy crying, and you will just buy it. So the point I'm trying to say is, and I want to re-emphasize, is that there are 4 P's and they don't necessarily have to be in any particular order, right? I hope, ladies and gentlemen, you have got this right, correct? Okay, so anybody still wants to dispute it? Doesn't matter. Let's move on with it. So we all know the 4 Ps. I'm not going to hang on in this particular slide for too long. Product, place, price, promotion. I'll explain what they are. Can you see this slide well? I don't know if you can see this slide well. You can see it now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the 4 Ps. And remember classical management or classical MBA courses, just like the vaccine, take years and years before they hit the book, which means that they really have to pass through so many criterias of evaluation before they reach there. You know how challenging it is for a vaccine to come in. So some of these theories are extremely classical and possibly a little dated. So let's understand the dated version of it. And once we have, just like how I told you that the SWOT is a little bit dated and we should look at a newer versions of the SWOT. And similarly, let's look at the 4 Ps only to realize that the 4 Ps can be something else. We will look that. If you look at the world 20 years back or 25 years back, there was a greater demand for a product and there was very few manufacturers. And we discussed this many times, or possibly we haven't, is that you had to wait for 6 months to get yourself a Bajaj Chetak scooter. I don't know how many of you know that your parents had to wait for or to book for years to get themselves. And yes. Yeah, so you're saying yes, right. And similar with your ambassador cars and similar with your premier Padminis. And so that was a different world. So now when everything is ready and your long wait for the Bajaj scooter has arrived, and they say, sir, aapka Bajaj scooter aa gaya, le lo, the color is yellow. Are you going to fight with him and say, no, I wanted light blue? No, you're not going to. You're going to take whatever is there. So the 4 Ps are as visualized by the company. What are the 4 Ps? Product. What kinds of products are there? They are tangible products, they are non-tangible products. Tangible products are products that you can see, like the Bajaj scooter. Non-tangible are the services that standard credit card companies give you. The good service and you don't visualize it, or the software services that they give you, or the consulting services that they give you. So those are the products. Place, where is it available? What is the location where this place is available? So the product may be brilliant. There is a saying, should you never be a blooming flower in a forest? I don't know how many of you have heard this sentence. Never be a blooming flower in the forest. What does that mean? You may be the most beautiful looking flower, but where are you blooming? You're blooming in a forest. How many people are going to look at it? And every year, twice every year, people gather up, fight over each other to go to the Lal Bagh to look at the flower. And an ordinary flower blooming well, people are excited, they are taking selfies with all of it. So if location is so very, very, very important. Location is very important. So the place is equally important. Now, associated with places, how do you transport your goods to that particular place? So associated with product is tangible and non-tangible. I'm going to stick on to one slide. I made the slide this morning, and I really want you guys to focus on it because this is marketing 101, and upcoming terms are going to assume that you know all this very well. Okay? So I'm like the nursery school teacher. I want you all to understand it, and you're most welcome to ask me 100 times. Okay? But especially those who haven't done marketing in their working lives. Second is, how do you transport it to a place? And the logistics of transportation. Third is, how do you distribute it? Who is going to be your distributor? And what is the process that is going to make them buy the thing? That is the second P. The third P is promotion. What if you're making the best of the product, but you're not on the top of the 10 search of results of Google's? You won't come in. So you're willing to spend thousands of rupees on your product. You must be willing to spend hundreds of rupees on your what is that? SEO optimization to make sure that you're visible. And not just visible, you have to be present there. How many of you have experienced that along, what is this? Along with your Bonvita, I think we discussed that. Along with your Bonvita, you will get one tennis ball free. Is what the ad comes on Sunday morning or Sunday evening in some show. Monday morning, you rush to the store. Das guy ne purana Bonvita hai, naya stock nahi aaya. So what if you are promoting yourself, but you don't know how to present yourself right after that? Right? How many of you have noticed that there's an ad for a new launch of a what is it called, apartment or something, and they give a phone number and the numbers are blocked or the numbers are overloaded. So if you're making an ad, you should make sure there are 100 lines available for people to talk to you. The promotion is all about attractiveness. It's all about, for some unique way, we all believe that we see that sticker on an apple, that apple is more delicious than the apple without a sticker. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So why? What is that sticker? That sticker, if you come to a store near my house, I'll tell you what the guy does with the sticker. Puts the sticker exactly where the apple is rotten. Now, but you and I have a mindset that sticker makes it. So its promotion is all about attractiveness. Promotion finally is about demonstration, how it works, ease of operation. And the last of the P is price. What is price? Price is, am I being profitable? What does he want to do? He wants to make money. At the end of all of that, if there's no money, what is the point of doing business? How profitable should I be? Should I be extremely profitable? If you look at how many of you watch a program called Shark Tank? Nobody knows what is Shark Tank?
I have.
Yes. Watching.
Yeah, some of you watch that. Very interesting. So if you look at it, they ask him, okay, I have a particular, so how much is the product? Oh, we are charging $49.99. Oh, $49.99. What's your cost? Our cost is $3. You imagine the kind of money the person must be making. Costing is $3, selling price is $49.99. But the guy is struggling. He wants to present himself because these guys have the place, these guys have the promotion. So price is all about profitability. Price is, maybe you don't want to be profitable today, but you want to be profitable tomorrow. And finally, price is not decided by you. Price is decided by the customer, by the competitor. Once the competitor lowers the price, you have two options, either to challenge him or to come up with a new price. Okay, there's plenty of time, right? So why am I putting this slide? Is that this slide opens up every other line of business. Product, production, product manufacturing, product operations, services, HR, place, stores, logistics, processes, taxes, legal, advertising, making of apps, SEO engines, finally promotion is. People, I don't like a product, just honestly, I don't like products which come out, which have a particular film star advertising. I wouldn't buy it. So it's all about how I feel when I look at that product. And finally, price is all about accounting, finance, costing, and bottom line. So this is the 4 P's which drive the company. Any questions on this before I move to the next slide?
No, sir.
Okay, no questions. Perfect. So if this is the 4 P's as viewed by the company, there must be some 4 P's which are viewed by the customer. The customer is not interested in a product. That's your product. You decide where to place it. You decide how to advertise it. You decide how much to price it. You never ask the customer before doing all of this. And the customer is least bothered. He is saying, "Aap apna 4P rakho, I will manage my 4 C's." What are the 4 C's? The customer. For you, it is the product. For him, it is me. I am the customer. It is what I want. Just because you have I can't think of a product, but you have some unique product. You can't force me to buy it if it's not going to be useful to me to buy. So only if I want it, I will buy. If I don't like it, I will not buy it. Bena, one minute, just close the door. So that is what it is. So the customer wants to feel the product. The customer wants to try the product. The customer wants to experience the product. The second P was what? The second P was place. We have, I don't know how many of you know that if you go to at one period of time, if you go to the outskirts of the city, you would get factory seconds outlets, which means that they were not truly factory seconds. They were almost like factory, or they were actually much cheaper prices. But you had to go travel so many kilometers. Or if you go to a mandi, if you travel, you can get your wheat at less by 2 kg, 2 rupees per kg. But are you wanting to go there? It's access. For me, what is more important is convenience. It is not place. Place to up your definition as a company. For me, it is convenience which matters. If it is near my house, I'll buy it. If not near my house, I'll not buy it. How many of us have, and I don't know, honestly, I'll tell you, my personal experience is that especially when you're running low on fuel, if you don't find a fuel pump on the left side when you drive, you will not want to take a U-turn or cut across the road to fill your tank on the right side of the road, and then only to regret and pray to every known God that, oh God, please, this time, please make sure that I land up with a petrol pump, right? All of us have done that, haven't we?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So it's all about ease and convenience. We are not. And communications. What are you saying? You're saying promotion. Oh, we are the by Prestige Gardenia, which is what is it? I remember that, which is 5 minutes from or 5 minutes or 6 minutes from Jayanagar metro station.
Prestige Falcon City.
Yeah, anything like that. But what do you mean by 5 minutes from metro station? Is it 5 minutes by flight, or 5 minutes by metro, or 5 minutes by walk? So your communication has to make relevance to me. If it's not relevant, I'm not going to do it. And your communication should connect with me. They are saying, I'm not excited. I'm honestly not excited about the Netflix 5th and 6th December no charge
Free thing.
you offer. I'm waiting for the Disney no charge offer because I already have a Netflix. So this ad of Anil Kapoor doesn't connect with me. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to a lot of people who are not interested in watching those kind of things. So is your communication making sense? And finally, it's all boils down to people. It all boils down to people. We know, and I'm telling you, I and my wife, when we go out for shopping, we don't buy flowers and fruits from a particular vendor because we don't like his face. Poor guy, nothing wrong with him, but we just, so people connect. If the people connect is missing, you don't buy it. Finally, cost. What is cost? Price. That is price to you. For me, it is cost. For you, it is one out of a million products that you could do. But for me, it is, I have to sacrifice something else to buy your product. So does it make sense for me to pay 129 per month to get a Prime connection if I'm not watching two movies or more than two movies a month? So, and for me, why would I want to buy a Prime, Amazon Prime connection if I wait for 3 weeks, same movie is available on, I don't know, Star Plus or something like that. So what is 4 P's to you is irrelevant to me because I am worried about my 4 C's. So that is what I'm trying to say. Finally, it was production for you, it was manufacturing and operations for you. Then the question is, if you don't know what the customer wants, what will you produce? And if your store is not close to my place, why would I want to buy it? And how many of us know that I don't know, why is it that, okay, best example I'm telling you, the best example of convenience, the best example of place. I every time want to fly Air India. Not for anything, I believe that they are given the wrong end of the stick and I want to fly Air India. Now I go into Air India website, I want to buy a ticket. The process is so complicated. The process is, honestly, I don't know who is making it complicated. It's so complicated. I get frustrated and then I just switch into one of those websites which issue you the tickets. So the whole process, how many of you have experienced that press 1 for this, press 4 for that, and you get frustrated because convenience is the most important thing for you to do. And it's probably Mahatma Gandhi who said, customer is the king, and we all know that. And you just learned from the experiences of the ad which said that the 5G phone EMI is 13,999. So you're making it easy for the customer to buy. So this is 4 P's and 4 C's. Are you guys clear about it before we move further?
Sir.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, good. So this is your 4 P's, which now become 7 P's. Because of the fact that, look here, I said that you must have the physical evidence of the product. So what got added here? There was price, there was place, there was promotion, there is physical evidence. I might like the car or I might like the mobile, but I will go to the store and want to feel it. That's exactly why Amazon and Flipkart are fighting with each other, because they are not able to convert a lot of unleft carts because I'm scared that the physical evidence is not there. We all know that joke, right? We all know the joke. Apple available for $1,499, and then you place an order and the guy sends you an eatable apple, right? So physical evidence is very, very important. Second is people, and we will start discussing people more seriously when we get into B2B business. So we have to understand that people play a very important role. Some showroom guys are very friendly. Some of them are not very friendly, and that's enough for us to not feel good about it, and we will just not buy it. Product, of course. Process, how complicated is the buying process? How complicated is the process of placing an order? And that you will start understanding it when we discuss what is called omni-channel marketing. So there you will realize why it should be easier for us to actually, the best way which Amazon is also trying to do is, I go to Amazon store on the web, I look at 10 products, I like 7 of them, and now I want to go to the nearest Amazon store and look at those 7. The moment I walk in, Amazon should be able to recognize that this is the same Ramesh who visited my website and selected the 7, and Amazon should flash focus lights on those 7 products when I walk into the store, and now I know what it is. This is very hard to imagine, but this is what is called omni-channel marketing, where every channel of communication is connected to the other channel. Or I look at a product, then I call their call center, and the moment they call the call center, they say, "Oh, sir, is that Ramesh? I understand you are looking for this product. I'll give you more answers to it." It doesn't happen today. What happens? I go there, then they say, "Sir, please give me your mobile number, give your mother's name, give your neighbor's name," and I'm going to get fed up and I move on. So these are the 4 P's, 7 P's, and obviously 7 C's. Is that clear? Are you all clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so now if you've understood them very well, I'm going to give you another Google form to what chats are going on here. Yes, please.
I could not hear you, Professor.
Your internet connection is
Sometime, yeah. Now it's okay.
No,
Sir, can you go to the last slide, sir?
Yeah, I'll go. Yes. I'm on the last slide.
Sir. Sir, this will be available in the LMS, no, after the class?
Yes, everything will be available on the LMS.
Thank you.
Okay.
Clear, sir.
Okay. So now I just shared with you a Google form. This Google form will help me. Again, you're not being graded. Cool. Don't bother. This is just for me to kickstart a new topic of conversation. So before we wind up for a break for whatever, depends on whether you're having lunch or coffee, I want you to understand that I'm not going to leave you so early, right? I don't belong to that category, unfortunately. Where is this? Where is that all important slide which you should know? So we've done business vision statement, we have done objectives, we've done situation SWOT analysis. We have not done target market strategy. We have done a little bit on product, price, promotion, and place. We've just got a hang of it. We'll also move further on it. And we have a few more things to go. So right now, I'll after the class, after the break, we'll do target market strategy. And once I'm done with that, we will also discuss the upcoming assignment that you guys have to do. So what's the time? 2:54. I'll give you 15 minutes to take a break and also to fill up the form. Are you able to access the form?
So can you put the link again for the form?
I just put it here. I think it should work again. Working?
It's working, sir.
So only one word answer, right?
Do whatever you want. No problem.
Okay.
Okay. Don't one word means what?
means there's some question. What we feel in our mind. That's what the one word
Okay,
answer.
what do you feel? But cannot be an answer. I feel good, I feel bad, but you must feel something, no?
Okay.
See how somebody felt when I put Deepika Padukone, right? So you should feel like that.
Okay. So
Okay, because yes,
little bit elaboration, right?
yeah, because then what do I say? Then we can have the conversation for the next subject, right?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, good. See you guys in 255 plus 15 is how much? 255 plus 15 is 310?
310.
310. Okay. Stop video. Resume recording. Share screen. Share. Okay. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. For God, where did I? Okay, this is the next of the presentation. Can you see this?
Yes, Professor.
Okay, good. So we are now getting into a third segment, which is segmentation, targeting, and positioning. So just to warm you up to that level, I gave you 3 examples. Of course, Bata is one example where you said cheap, reliable, and all that stuff. And there was no two doubt about it that when it came to Disneyland and Wonderlaw, we were trying to target the kids or the kids in you or the kid in you or the child in you. That is how we targeted. And when it came to Germany, we said that, oh, excellent product. That's the mindset that people have, that it can still be an Indian product and be equally fine. That's what some of them indirectly mentioned to me, saying that just because it's Germany, don't take it for granted that it is good product. Even Indian products make it. But that's in your mind. In your mind, the moment it is Germany, you're assuming that it's good. So the word that we are going to discuss for a while now would be segmentation, targeting, and positioning, which is another very important sector in marketing. Now let's look at this. I'm going to...
Professor,
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. What you had in mind when you put Bata there? Like what?
I had nothing in mind. I had nothing in mind. I tell you what. Okay. I had nothing in mind. And what I had in mind is what I came. You said it's Bata means shoes for kids, right? Now nobody said Bata means I'll go shopping in Bata for my wedding dress. Nobody said that, right? Because it's not true. You will not go to Bata to buy your a fine outlet for I don't know other brands, but maybe there are better brands that you would go to buy.
But one thing about Bata, like I was seeing the cheap and do you agree with the cheap fact about Bata? Because I know about a Bata brand called Hush Puppies that is quite expensive, I guess. I mean, going by standards, it's quite expensive.
Yeah, but what I said was what comes to your mind. What comes to your mind? Now you have told me that, Ramesh, don't look at Bata as cheap. Bata has Hush Puppies, which are quite expensive. But the moment I say Bata, this is a general thought that comes to our mind, right? So I was not trying to dig into your thought. Actually, I wanted to add a line which said that answer within 10 seconds. Because I don't want you to start imagining. I just want you to come that's why I said it's a mind game. So anyway, there was nothing that we wanted. I just wanted to make sure that you do it. Now I'm going to go through some list, and who is this product for? I want one of you, Shiju, are you there? Maybe can you answer? Compare the two, Elite Matrimony and Canada Matrimony.
Yeah, so Professor, elite matrimony, what comes to mind is predominantly for the rich class, and Kannada matrimony is focused specifically for the Kannadigas, right? So elite matrimony could be worldwide, and Kannadigas specifically focused on a specific region.
Okay, that's interesting. Aparna, would you want to say something?
Yes, sir. Elite matrimony. I prefer, if I am go for it, I'll go for Kannada matrimony since it is specific and region specific. So elite matrimony, I feel that, I may not find a better thing or it may not suit me. This is my first.
Okay, good, good. Exactly the conversation we should be heading towards. Anybody else? Dimple, Rao, could you say something? I'm getting all of you to wake up to a conversation. So if Dimple, you there, we can. Or anybody else? Hari Prasad, do you want to say something? You could repeat what was said, because there's not much that one can dispute, but both who have spoken so far.
So the name itself suggests Canada matrimony. So it is showing, it depends, it's showing that it is regional. So by that we can, compare it.
Okay. What about
so when somebody see Kannada,
Elite
sir,
doesn't give any message. By the logo, we can just say it is common, like for everybody.
Okay.
I think, sir, it depends upon your criteria, your perceptions, and if you're like your family is okay with regardless the culture, regardless of your same caste or something like that, I would choose elite. So it depends upon what's your criteria and how flexible are you. How open you are to the flexibility to relationship.
Okay, good. Shishma.
Actually, I want to speak that elite matrimony is for world based or is for only India based. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Okay, the Kannada matrimony, the Kannada matrimony have the logo. The Bengali matrimony over our West Bengalis have the same logo, and there are so many places who have the same logo that same matrimony.
Sir, what I see is that they have not with elite title. I don't think they are specific in terms of the region. Though they have options, they have several options.
No. Who's saying this? Shushma.
Yes, sir. Yes,
hang on. Time out. Shushma, can you modify your sentence? For elite matrimony?
Yeah. So, sir, I said that elite matrimony is with more number of options, different cultures. It includes various culture and caste tribes. So, I think here people who look for beyond their culture, beyond their casteism, they can go for elite matrimonial, who are much more specific that they only want to get married in a Kannadiga culture. So they will go for Kannada matrimony.
Perfect. So are you saying that people going to elite matrimony may be Kannada speaking?
Yes, they can be. Yes.
Okay. So are you saying that people going to Kannada matrimony can be rich?
No, sir. I think that will be very limited.
Because if elite matrimony is for the rich, if elite matrimony is for the rich, so there could be Kannada speaking people who will go to elite matrimony, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Professor, it
vice
is
versa, sir.
targeted.
Vice versa. Yeah, go ahead.
It is for a targeted region, I can say, Professor. Like Kannada matrimony specifically targets on one particular audience, and elite does not have any specific, but you can still filter it anyway.
Perfect. Very good. Now I want the next slide.
Sir, okay.
Now the next slide. Now tell me, who is this not for?
Sir, this is not for the people who are unmarried yet. and because it's defining the
मतलब क्या होता है?
yet matlab still not married, still in an unmarried status.
Not married even once.
Not married even once.
Not for the first timers, sir.
Not
Or it
for
could be
first
for
time.
people who want to remarry.
Not for the first time, right?
So there was a couple of them, not for first timers, not for the unmarried, and what else? Anything else? That's
Not
all.
for kids.
Not not for kids. But is it not for Kannada speaking?
No, it is
No,
general.
sir, this
It's
is
overall.
general
It's
one.
For overall.
Is it this is only for elite people?
This is for elite people, sir.
This is for
No,
elite.
sir. No, sir. This
Generic.
is not
No,
for
sir, it's
elite. This is for everyone.
overall, it's global, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's generic.
Okay, good. So we had a certain discussion 5 minutes back, or not five, one slide back, in which we are identifying who the product is for. Okay. Now the second slide said who the product is not for. And both of that is extremely essential for you when you come out with your product. Because your product is for some people and it's not for some people, right? Your product has to define itself, and you as a marketer has to define where and how you focus your product for. Now let's look at the third slide. Now let's look at this slide. What do you think about? I hope you can see this ad reasonably well. What do you think of this ad of Mia? And what do you think of this ad of Raymond? What do you think? Who it is for, who it is not for, what
For
day
women,
should-
for women and men. That Mia is for women and the Raymond is for men.
men. Is that the only thing that you can think about?
So
Beauty
Career-oriented
products.
people, sir.
Both used for special
Career-oriented.
Beauty and
occasions.
grooming products.
Pardon?
The
Sir, it
beauty
is-
products and the grooming products and the
Okay.
jewelry products.
Okay.
And both look
but-
very professional.
but-
So maybe it
but
is for
women can also
career-oriented
wear
people.
Okay, hang on. Let somebody else is speaking. Go ahead and speak. The lady who was speaking.
Like but women can also wear suits and men can also wear jewelry. I don't think it is specific to gender, but I feel it's specific to product and who it is ideal for.
Okay.
I feel, sir, it is, at a first sight, I'm saying it is for rich. So, and it is for grooming purpose.
Okay. Good enough. Okay, so couple of decisions we made was that you are segmenting the population. You are saying one said this is for women, the other said this is for men, the other said this is for the rich, and the other said this is for the whatever. So you said men, women, working, non-working, both of them made you feel, yeah, that's probably the other thing that you said, is that both of them made you feel that these are the working women who would want to walk into Mia. We are just fresh out of the Tata case study, so we can say that. And what would you do? If you're sitting at home, you wouldn't wear a suit. So maybe that's another segmentation that we did. Okay, so we did a gender segmentation. We probably did some other kind of segmentation. Now look at Bounce and Uber. What are you trying to say? Who is it for? Who is it not for? Let me hang on. I'm going to get the quietest people. Wilson has spoken. Yeah, I think so. But Wilson, go ahead. I want you to Wilson, Sumit, then Sindhuja, and Sandhya. Maybe all of you, all three, or one by one in the order. I want to hear from you. Wilson.
When it comes to Uber or Bounce, it's more to do with not having a commitment. Just in case I have to buy a two-wheeler, so I don't have to deal with it. I can use it as per my requirement. Same
That
as
is for
the
which
case
one? For you're talking
for
about
Bounce as well as for even Uber. If it is a car, same thing applies. So you not have to have a long-term commitment, just for a need-be basis or on a usage basis.
Mhm. And next, who was that who had to speak? If continues to be quiet, Sandhya, if I said Sandhya, maybe.
Yes, Professor, I'm here. So I agree with Wilson's comments. So Uber, we need not have to, have a long-term commitment as well as maintenance or whatever it is, and we can use it, as and when.
No, the question is this. The question is, who is this targeted at? Who will take Uber and who will take Bounce?
Working professionals. So it depends on what work are you in, and just in case
So working professionals will take what? Uber or
Uber.
Bounce?
So
you mean working
it is
professionals?
again diversifies. For example, I can see somebody who wants to deliver a Swiggy. Now people hire a Bounce instead of having their own vehicle. And for somebody on a Uber, in case somebody work in IT company, they're not able to get the transport on time, they'll just Uber.
So now you did something. You just said the guys who are working in IT profession take Uber. The guys who are working in lower skill jobs use Bounce.
Professor, in short,
Depends
Uber
like
is
if
for
you want to
urban
pop in,
mobility.
like
Again,
certain times.
affordability.
Look
And
for
Now you're bringing
Bounce is for
affordability.
neighborhood mobility.
Who is that? Say that again, Abhinandan. Say that again.
Uber is for urban mobility, and Bounce is for neighborhood mobility. In short.
Okay. Okay. What? Anybody
Yes,
else?
professional wise, you cannot categorize. Anybody will
I
want to
think
use
it's
Uber
mostly the
or
bachelors will
Bounce.
use the.
Actually,
think
it is
if
based
there are
on the length of the travel and your urban and rural areas, based on that. But I think you cannot characterize it with your profession. Any profession people might use it. Like I sometimes use Bounce, I sometimes use Uber. So it depends on my.
Those who don't know to drive can use Uber.
Now there is another line of thought coming up.
One needs to know to ride first, sir.
One needs to know how to ride a scooter. For people who don't know how to ride a scooter, if they want to travel, they would go to
Uber.
Or
They also should have a driving license.
Bounce. Who
Also,
knows the ride?
depend on number of commuter. If you have one or two, we'll go for Bounce. If you are four people, we'll go for Uber.
So
Okay, good,
Anushika
good.
here.
And
I
also
would like to
Bounce
put
is
my thoughts.
Who is that? Who is that?
Anushika.
Speaking. Go ahead.
Anushika, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, Uber is the one who doesn't know how to ride, and Bounce can be used by the people who knows to ride and who want to reduce the time to reach to the office. Don't want to stuck in the traffic because it is easy to communicate with two-wheelers.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good.
There could be a
One more.
Sorry, it also depends upon the season. It also depends upon the season. Like if it's rainy, people prefer Uber. If it's not rainy, then people would prefer both Bounce and Uber.
Yes, sir. And also Friday
Yes,
evenings. People
Okay.
want
On
to
a
go
on a
Uber.
on a rainy day, there'll be more Uber users and there'll be less Bounce users. Okay, good. So we spent quite a time trying to understand how this ad is. So my question is, I give you one place, maximum one place, and I'm going to pick up Sarani and Sharani Ghosh and Adil Ahmad and maybe Anand. Yes, one place for you to put an ad for Uber and one place to put an ad for Bounce. Where would that be?
This is Anand, Professor. Uber would be at the airport lounge, and the Bounce would be at the metro station.
Very good. Very nice. Anybody? Who did I say is next?
Yeah, it's Adil here, Professor.
Yeah.
I agree to what he said. Like, it's mostly wherever the transport places might be basic transport, like, might be the railway stations or bus stops. So we can post the bounds, and might be the premium places, like, might be the airport, or might be the restaurants, or might be the hotels. So in those places we can post Uber.
Okay, perfect. Good. Yeah, anybody else I mentioned should talk? No, right? Just two of you. Okay, good. So now let's look at the last in
I
the
will talk. Sir, we can put both in tech parks. Sorry, I am Dhananjay.
Go ahead. We can still put both in the tech park, and the reason is
we can put both in tech parks.
Why? Why would you put it
But
in
there we have the multiple. Yeah, we can. There we have the people who can prefer bounce as well Uber.
Okay, no. Now tell me why tech park? I'm looking at that. Very good answer, Dhananjay. So don't get scared by my strong rebuke. But then why tech park? Give me that very clearly.
Because they are daily users.
Yeah,
they're daily users.
We have daily user, different. I mean, again, destination, different.
Exactly. They have to go back home. They have to go back home. Okay, good. Perfect. Now, the last on the list is TVS Star City. I don't know how many of you know it, but I'll tell you a TVS Star City costs 35,500. And Java Perak is a wonderful bike. It costs 2 lakhs. Now, when
TVS Star City now at around 90,000.
Huh?
TVS Star City nowadays right about 90,000.
Okay, but I'm telling you, I have some inside information. So don't bother about the pricing.
Okay.
Don't bother with the pricing. Now,
Sorry, I don't get the.
Yeah. Okay. So TVS. Okay. Forget Star City. TVS. Okay. TVS 35,000. Java Perak 2 lakh. So who will buy what? Now let's see who's going to answer. I'm going to get more. And if SLE would do
economical
that.
reason. Economical reason they will buy for TVS Star City for like long ride who can afford they can buy Java.
It also depends on lifestyle.
One is a luxury, one is
Sir,
a
who's passionate about racing? No, sir, they will buy Java, sir, who are passionate riders.
Okay, Kurat, I'm going to ask you a question. What's the typical age of the person buying both the vehicles?
Mid of they should be at least cross 25 at least.
No, the
average
age for Java Perak.
Sir, 20 to 30.
Will buy
And
TVS. Like about 25 they will buy Java.
And
maximum peoples. Maximum number they will buy Java about 25.
TVS are the people who have just started earning, sir. People who just started earning will go for TVS, and people who have made good money will go for
Why are you laughing when you're answering? Okay, what about somebody who is 55? What does he do?
Professor, can I?
Anushika, sir, I would like to.
Okay, hang on. Time out. All questions stop. Now, somebody was saying, can I? Now, you
Anushika. Yes, sir. So TVS Star City can be used by any age group till 50 or 60 above. It is easy to ride and easy to handle. And Java is the one who is passionate about the bike riding or who is crazy about the bike. So mostly.
Yeah, stop there. I'm going to continue talking to you. So you said people are going to buy TVS because it's easy to ride, easy to pay, and people are going to buy Java because it is fun. You said something else. Fun and
passionate about the bike ride.
About it. Okay. So do you think what is the likelihood that somebody who's buying Java Perak is going to ask that all important question? Which is that all important question?
Mileage.
Is he going to ask that question?
No.
No, sir.
No,
he's going to ask power, like somebody said.
Yes,
right?
power.
Yes, but do you think somebody is asking TVS is going to ask for power?
No, mileage.
No, he's
No,
asking
sir.
mileage.
No, sir, mileage.
Well, despite knowing the fact, we are spending too much of time here, but really doesn't matter because this is one slide that I'm going to run through your mind so that it sits in your mind. So the point here is, and I want you to remember. Okay, now time out. Let me take over the conversation. Is that we did a segmentation. We said this is for this is not for this we said Mia. Of course there was somebody who said even men would walk into a Mia showroom and buy earrings, but I don't think Tata designed Mia for men, right? So that's an extremely small segment, so we'll ignore that conversation. So now basically you are saying the segmentation. Who will be the buyer? Who will be the buyer? The buyer will be this. Now, the second is, how do I identify who is the buyer? Now, which means that anybody can walk into Mia, anybody can walk into Raymond's, a man will walk into Raymond's, a woman will walk into Mia. Now, beyond that segmentation, I need to focus. Like I asked you finally one question, where do you put the ad? You said lounge, obviously, right? You said lounge and you said metro. So you know how to target it. Somebody said Swiggy will take it. Somebody said IT people will be taking Uber. IT people don't want to drive bounce, maybe because IT people have greater affordability. So now comes affordability, now comes convenience, and a lot of things. The third thing is positioning. And remember, positioning is like the third thing that I asked you is Germany. Now I said Germany. The moment I said Germany, all of you jumped up and said quality, 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 quality. That's because for the last 35 years, for the last 45 years, we have been bombarding on you saying that when a product comes out of Germany, it has quality. Now, have you seen it? Have you experienced it? Maybe, may not be, but that is in your mind. That is in your mind. So remember, maybe TVS Star City can also do 150 kilometers per hour. Maybe Java Perec uses the greatest of the technologies to give you the highest of fuel efficiency. But the thing, maybe you can still sit on a TVS Star City and your girlfriend could be impressed by it. This doesn't matter just because you have a Java that somebody is going to take your proposal for granted. So, but it is the positioning in your mind. What happens when something comes up? So the point is, they are always looking at how do I position the product in the mind of the person. Why is it that Dhoni advertises for TVS? Is because Dhoni is seen as a person who's come from Jharkhand, who's done well in society, who's done well in life, and he will be the guy for TVS. So you can still be that small town guy and do well, and you don't have to spend 2 lakh rupees like maybe Gopal Krishna would want to do it. But for Java, who is advertising? I guess there's going to be some rich brat who will advertise for Java. He said, "Baap ka paisa hai, to udao." So that is the kind of positioning that we are doing. So remember, in marketing, you have this concept of 4 P's, but beyond 4 P's, you also have this feeling saying that are you in a, what do you call, the segmentation, targeting, and positioning of the product. All along, that is what matters. Now let's go into an other conversation. And again, I don't mind making it noisy, but let's not make it too noisy. Now, again, this one slide should take care of most of it. Now, State Bank of India versus American Express. What is the age of a person having an account in State Bank of India?
Pensioners
Is
and
it
retirees.
Types of ages, sir.
hang on. Is it a consideration of parameter?
No, sir.
No.
No.
No, sir.
No, it's not a parameter of consideration. You could be a
Minor as well.
school minor as well, or you could be Mr. Ambani, and you most likely that you will also have or you could be a retired person. You could still have a State Bank. But when it comes to American Express, is age a consideration?
Yes.
Yes.
Possibly, right? Possibly, yes. Very, very unlikely that I would want to continue my American Express well after my retirement and the last of the money has gone. American Express wants me to make sure that I have 3 lakh rupees left in the bank account, minimum deposit. I don't want it. I'm retired now. So I would move it to State Bank of India because they don't have any such restriction. Is there a gender to that?
No.
You think when you look at American Express, only the men would invest?
No.
No, right? Even for State Bank of India, it doesn't make sense.
Yes.
You mean to say only married people will have account in State Bank of India?
No.
No, irrelevant. So some data is irrelevant. Status of employment, irrelevant in the case of State Bank of India, but may be relevant in the case of American Express. If I'm not working, I don't think I'll have an account with American Express, right?
Yes,
Well,
sir.
Amex is a credit card company, so
I know they also have a bank.
yeah, they have a bank, but not here. We just deal with the credit cards.
Okay, so we'll change it to, which is the bank? Barclays Bank.
Citibank.
Okay, we'll change it to another bank if that is the point. So don't bother. I mean, just trying to do a comparison. Now, what is the annual what is the annual salary of a person in State Bank of India? Do you think it's an irrelevant data or irrelevant data?
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant data, right? We don't know. It doesn't matter. But American Express, can you assume some annual salary?
Yeah, they require.
Yes, they must be at least
6
maybe 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs. Would say come to, I don't think American Express will also allow them inside. So some. Then what is the likely mobile phone that a guy with the Barclays Bank or America is likely to have?
iPhone. Mobile,
iPhone.
Now you
iPhone
see,
Samsung Note.
you have made up your mind. Whoever said iPhone and Samsung, what is your name?
Namaskar.
Yeah, see, listen. Now, why it is important is because you already made up your mind in your positioning that iPhone has positioned itself in such a way that the guy who has an iPhone has higher salary, right? So that is the mobile phone model. So it's relevant. Likely location of the person, he's likely to be in an urban location, right? He's likely to be in Bombay or Bangalore, but a person in State Bank of India could be anywhere in India, right? So now get to know your customer. You know your KYC. This is your KYC, but the KYC is from a different angle. This KYC is from a marketing angle. Now let's look at one more comparison. Netflix. Most likely age. Netflix. I don't think people above 50 are watching Netflix, right?
18 and above.
Yes.
18 to 30.
Youngsters. Then Netflix marital status, is it likely to be important? Maybe.
No, sir.
No.
Yeah. Netflix, you can assume some CTC, right? You can assume some CTC. That a person who is taking a Netflix account unless it is on 5th and 6th of December, he likely to have certain, because he must afford to pay certain amount of money, right? And a
Yes, sir.
person watching Netflix is likely to be located in prime cities of the country, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So somebody had a question. So this is the further classification of your product. So I'm going to go back to this. Who is this product for? We did a discussion. Who is this product not for? And then we segmented the product. We targeted the possible customer. And what should I tell the customer? What is the message that should go to the customer? What should my advertising say? What should the advertising say? There was an ad. There was an ad where it said, you that Denver spray or whatever that was. You the moment you spray that, you're just surrounded by all kinds of people around you. So, what is the message that they are trying to tell you? So, similarly, you need to know how to reach out to your customer. So this is the third part of it. So segmentation is understanding the process of why people buy, and the market can be segmented into various categories. What are the type of categories that the market can be segmented? Anybody wants to tell me that? What is a possible segmentation? We'll look at one point. Somebody, I can, yeah. This is how segmentation happens. Can you define what is the criteria here? What is the segmentation?
Age group.
Okay, age group is
Gender.
one.
Gender.
Socioeconomic status.
Economics.
Absolutely.
Economics.
Socioeconomic status, sir.
Exactly. So let us hang on here for a minute and look at what the thing is. This says there is no segmentation. We don't know who my user is. We don't know what is the color of his skin, what is the age, what is the language he speaks, which part of the world he comes from. I don't know. I'm just blindly advertising. Here, fully segmented. I know that I want to address this gentleman who is retired, black, located in some other part of the world. He may want to buy a certain product. So it's a fully segmented. This is very difficult to achieve, where you know every one of your user and you define it according to your user. Amazon does it to a certain extent. Your landing page is different from my landing page. Isn't that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So they try to segment it, fully segmented, so that my landing page, I'm told, I don't know, I have not seen other landing pages, but I'm told that every Amazon landing page is very different from the other one. This is, of course, the most easiest. I target men, I target women, then I target the young, I target the old. So these are, as somebody rightly said, one way of segmenting the market. The importance of segment, this is for you to read. I'm not going to hang on to this for too long. This is things that you will read. Okay, I know why this is happening, because, and I don't like this mode. Yeah. So these are the segmentation that you talk about. Now, randomly alphabets M, P, and if there are any use, give me an example of geographic segmentation of markets. Anybody in the M, in the P, and any use here? There no U here, so we'll replace it by V. Yes, please.
Meghna here, Professor.
Yeah.
Geography wise, I can say food. So, for an example, how Western food, that is McDonald's, have come to India, and they, although they try to Westernize it, it still became an Indian type now. So I can say that is an example.
Yeah, I think yeah, I know that's an example, but probably I think you were also in that chat when we were talking about Kellogg's coming out with Upma, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so Geographic segmentation would be also similar to it. Is that what about demographic segmentation? What is demography? Age. What about
Gender and race.
Population.
Gender, age, population.
Yeah, example of a product.
Chocos and breakfast. I'm quietly like how Chocos is specifically for kids, and how Kellogg's is for age group of 20s and teens. So I
Right.
think this
Right.
can.
Right.
Sir, I would like to add that Cerelac is one kind of age-specific nutrition for kids.
That's an interesting, but we will get there maybe right away. Cerelac is for kids. Now,
Women's Horlicks is
hang on.
for
Now, Cerelac is for kids of what age? 0 to, I don't know.
0 to 2.
0 to 3. Do they 0 to 3? Okay. Do they have? Do they know what product they are taking?
No.
No. So now I'm just deviating just to bring in diversity of conversation. Is that the product is for whom? For kids. But who is going to be the decision maker?
Mother.
Parents.
So now you see a different kind of demography irrespective of the user group, right? Irrespective of the user group. So now, though the user group is there, you are going to define it to mothers to be is the target, or mothers or young mothers is the demography that you're looking at, not the user base. The user is 0 to 3 who don't have any influential power. Similarly, let's say you want to buy a treadmill for your house. Who is going to make the buying decision? Obviously, you, who is the earning member of the family, but who is going to be the influencing decisions?
The person who wants to use that more.
The person who wants to use that more, or the persons who would possibly
Paying for it.
paying for
Right,
one
yeah.
thing, but also the ones who are stakeholders in that whole using process, which means to say you don't buy a treadmill just for yourself. You want to buy the treadmill for your wife as well, or your husband, and also you want to buy it for kids at home. And so you may want one which doesn't have a TV built in, but your kids will insist that you have a TV built in. Though you are the buyer, there are going to be a lot of influencers to the buying decision. Now, we are going to spend a lot of time discussing this entire buying behavior in a topic that's called B2B marketing. And what is B2B marketing?
Business to business.
Business to business marketing. Okay, so demographics. Now, what is benefit sought? What is benefit sought?
Health benefits.
Health benefits or anything. You might want to see the post benefit. Okay, if you take how many of you have been seeing that ad about a guy who walks into the refrigerator in the middle of the night and finds that the ice cream box is empty, and he gets wild?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now tell me, what is that ad about?
It's about LIC, I think so.
No. So half the ad.
It's about the
Tata
blood
Salt
pressure
Light.
control. Tata Salt.
Okay, perfect. So for those of you who have not seen the ad, there is this guy who walks in the middle of the night to see that the ice cream box is empty. So he gets wild and says that, why do you keep empty boxes in the inside the fridge? And he's furious and angry. And the voiceover says that people who have blood pressure tend to get angry. His wife watches his behavior, and they both go to a mall or a store, and the wife buys the low salt. I don't understand how is it
Sodium.
ever possible. Low sodium salt, but salt itself is sodium. So how can you have low salt?
Iodine.
No, iodine is not this different. Anyway, they will not get into argument on that. So now you see the benefit sought is the reason why the product is being bought. So the target market is wives or men who are in the edge of getting their health deteriorated. So these are the various kind of segmentation. Go with one more of this. This is for you to read through. I want to I'll just see where it is more relevant for me to look at. Okay, so these are the various, we looked at it. Income demography is all about age, income, family size, gender, geographical location, and occupation. Psychological is brand sensitivity, price conscious. So why, I think we discussed the Starbucks pricing. Did we discuss the Starbucks pricing by any chance? As to why Starbucks has
No, Professor.
no. If you go to Starbucks, you have and you order for coffee, you have three options: short,
Small, regular, and tall.
yeah, small, regular, and tall. Okay, small, regular, and tall. And most likely, what do you buy?
Regular.
Now, everybody is saying regular, and it is also found out that 83.7321. I mean, remember that number. It's very important for the exam. I forgot the number myself. So it's found out that 83% of the people who walk into Starbucks order regular. Now, with all that there, we talk about price sensitivity as a separate subject, hopefully in class number 5. But why is there still a small and why is still a tall? Why don't they get rid of it? Because 83% of the people anyway buy only regular. Why do they still have two other models on either side?
To attract other group of individuals as well.
Maybe, but more precisely, to convince you that your decision to buy regular is the most pragmatic decision. You look at short and say, oh, short or whatever it was called, short is 100 ml of coffee at 129 rupees. Oh my God, 150 ml or 100 ml of coffee is too little for me. Now we give you 250 ml of coffee on tall, and it's 329. And sitting in between is regular, is 150 ml, exactly what you need. I don't know if we can drink 150 ml of coffee or not. I'm just assuming. And it's 149. So we need, and this is the brilliant of marketing, and this is the brilliant of pricing, is that we need to have, we need to have a mute. We need to have both sides of the selling cycle to make your decision. Similarly, Baskin Robbins says what? How many varieties?
32.
And psychologically, the answer is 80% or 70% of them go and buy vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry. But you need more variety. If there is a store which has vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry, and there is another store a store which has 15 other brands or flavors, it's most likely that you will go to a store which has 15 flavors, but you will still buy the 3. That is why the psychological behavior of a person is very important when you're trying to promote a model. So that is, you should have greater variety. So that is psychological pricing or psychological segmentation. Then behavior segmentation. Behavior segmentation is very, very important. For the heavy data users, geo is for the geo broadband connection is for the PUBG addicts. Are you watching too many movies? You should buy a video, what is it called? Vodafone internet connection. So they are targeting your buying pattern, your behavior. Or are you the guy who always wants to buy 2 get 1 free kind of a user? So this is depending on the kind of the behavior of the person, you will want to segment him accordingly. So this is what is the segmentation. Targeting, we've discussed enough of that, and I'm more or less done with it. But remember, I'm going to emphasize a million times that positioning is mute. Positioning is something that they want to put in your mind. Positioning is in the mind. How do I say that? What is the name of the guy who played along with Sanjay Dutt in that Munna by MBBS? The other guy,
Circuit.
What's
Harshad
Varsi.
Harshad Vardi, right? Varsi or Varshid? Harshad Vardi. Okay.
Varsi.
Okay. Harshad Varsi also acted as a hero in a number of movies. But his movies flopped. Is because of the success of Munna by MBBS. And remember, I am giving you the weirdest of the examples so that it gets into your mind. Is that what made his hero roles flop is the super success of his role as Circuit. So he gets branded and it is positioned in your mind that he is a second step actor, or you always see him as a joker and you cannot see him in a serious role. So positioning is so very important, and that's why some of these movie stars all fade away because they get branded as something else. And it also happens to all of us in our own daily lives, in our own thing, is that within your own organization, there is a mental positioning of what they think about you. And if they're thinking not so good about you, any amount of effort to rescale yourself is not going to work unless it's going to be a long drawn process. That is why many people, you would have noticed, actually move organizations because they can re-characterize themselves. And positioning is not something because of your behavior. Positioning is not something of your act. Its positioning is in the mind of the person. So just as important is 4 P's. It is very easy for you to do segmentation and targeting. But remember the word that is associated with positioning, and by default, there'll be a question on this. Positioning is in the mind. Okay. So this said, I'm more or less done with this part of the conversation. There are lots of things that will come here on positioning and things like that. Now, as promised to somebody, we can talk about the assignment. What are your questions? How many of you have seen the assignment?
I have seen, sir.
Okay. So how many of you?
Seen, sir.
Yeah. So Anybody has a specific discussion on the assignment, I can talk about it.
Sir, it was told that after third class only we have to attempt the assignment. What does it mean, sir? Like why it was?
Why? Because the assignment has concepts of STP, segmentation, targeting, and positioning. So now, how can I expect you to write about segmentation, target, and positioning till it was discussed in today's class?
Sir.
So that's why, and I also wanted to let you people know that many of the companies in the case study, there's some very, very interesting case study, and they are not fictitious case studies. They are real live case studies. They become so arrogant about themselves that they take their product for granted. They take their positioning of the product for granted. So unless and until you appreciate the 4 P's, and unless and until you appreciate that 4 P's is their problem, our problem is 4 C's. See, so unless and until I have explained to you 4 C's, how can I expect you to answer a question, and how do you expect me to evaluate you without having taught you? So that is why I told you is that hang on till my third class so that you have the chance to answer it. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Professor Abhinandia.
That will change soon, right? The timelines.
Pardon?
In LMS, we still see that it's 1 day left.
No,
So
I'll take care of it. I'll do that. I'll do that edit. I was on travel. I'll come back and I'm telling you, that next Saturday you'll have to do it. Before next
Professor
Saturday.
Abhinandia. Professor, you said 12th would be the deadline, which is next Saturday. Can't it be extended, please?
Okay, I'll do it 12th. I said 10 o'clock. I'll make it 12th, 11 o'clock. Guys, I was unfortunately for you, and really unfortunately for you, I happened to be in Captain Nagaraj Rao's class for the last 20 minutes. So, okay, do you know? Okay, I'm going to tell you. So, you know what I'm trying to say is that I know what are the questions that's coming up. How many of you have heard the story of, there was a old hat seller. You know what is a hat seller, right? Guy who sells hats. And a very old story. And you must stop me if you know the story. This guy was going from village 1 to village A to village B to sell hats. And he was feeling very tired. So with a box of hats, he slept below a tree, and there were a lot of monkeys in the tree. Do you know the story?
No, sir.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Yes,
Professor.
Yes,
sir. Yeah.
Yes, okay, sir. Okay. So what happens in this story? Tell me, one of you who told me this. Yes.
A monkey will repeat whatever.
So
all the monkeys would take the hats, and then since he wants the hats back, he will throw one hat away, and all the monkeys will start throwing hats back at him.
Yeah, monkey see, monkey do. Yeah.
Monkeys do what?
Monkey see, monkey do.
Monkey see, monkey do, and monkey see man, and they do as man, right?
Yeah,
yeah. So we all know that story, and so then 25 years later, the father has retired, and the son has taken over the business, and he walks from place A to place B, carrying his hats, and he sleeps below a tree, falls asleep, gets up and knows that all his hats are missing. And then he says, okay, I know this, my father has taught me. So then he takes the hat on his head and bangs it on the ground, and the monkeys look at him, and do you know what they tell him?
Their father has also taught them.
Even we have fathers. Okay, so this is the joke. Is that so now? So they say even we have fathers, not just you, man. I mean, we have fathers. The monkey says, my father told me, don't be stupid. Last time I did something stupid and I lost the hat. So in that connection, I have been listening to your conversation with the professor on extending of deadline. But trust me, if you look at my first slide, it's all about managing deadlines, managing time, managing thing. But I'm sorry, I can't do much about that. Okay. But I'm sitting here not to talk about extension of deadline, but I'm sitting here to talk if you have any questions on the assignment per se. How many of you have looked at it? How many of you believe that you need to talk to me on what this assignment is all about?
Yes.
Professor
Sir,
Marvin,
if
yes.
I can ask you a very tactical question, you have put the limitations on number of slides that needs to be used, right, for both major and minor. Is that limitation only for the content slide? That means, does that exclude the introductory slide and the thank you salutation slides, etc.? Is that limitation, or is it overall?
Actually, I don't know, very tough to tell, but
So even with that, max 2 slides will be more, so doesn't matter actually.
doesn't matter. I mean, unless and until.
No,
okay, yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. We all have grown up doing PPTs. Okay, I'll be very honest with you. Let me be extremely honest on the way I'm going to evaluate your piece of work. We all have grown up on PPT. So anybody who says, I don't know PPT, I don't think he exists on the face of this conversation. Second is, we all know that we can do a lot of things on PPT. I don't believe that I'll be impressed by a lot of embroidery and color. Point number one. I am also very particular that your presentation has symmetry. Your presentation must have uniformity of content. That is exactly what I'm looking at. I know eventually in life you will learn how to make your how to read content. I'm giving you an 8-page document because from that 8-page document I should get a 10-slide presentation. I'm looking at how do you pull out data? How do you exhibit and say the same thing without saying too much? How much content is there on your thing which is irrelevant? How do you manage the slide? And then I'll tell you, I'm going to point you out. Class number 3, I'm a nice, friendly professor joking around. Class number 6, I'll eventually start talking to each one of you and give you a piece of my mind. When I say that you are looking at the slide and reading, if you're looking at the slide and reading in the presentation, don't you think I can read? Honestly, I can read faster than you. So your slide, because tomorrow you're going to do a broad presentation. Tomorrow you're going to do a presentation to a large customer. Tomorrow you're going to make a presentation to somebody who's going to buy your product. And then again, you read what is there. This company is based in, it has offices in US and India, and we had a staff of 250 people. You're going to read that again? No, the slide is a catalyst to your conversation. So you must decide what goes in the slide and you must decide what goes in your presentation. And eventually, if you're just sticking around telling no stories, then you have a problem. So that is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at nice, you are all guys with 4-5 years experience, the first Google form, I'm going to look at it. If somebody, I'm going to pick out a name, I'm sorry, but I'm going to pick out a name like Vignesh and say, Vignesh says, sir, 9 years experience, sir. And then I have Vignesh making a very dull presentation. I'm not going to feel good about it. But on the contrary, if Vikrant Saini, who says, sir, I'm just 1 year out of college and I'm working, I'm going to be extremely accommodative to him because I will watch him more carefully, and I'll probably guide him to move forward. So this is what I'm looking at. Are you in agreement with me?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because I'll tell you what, honestly, when I did my course, which was again after years of work, that is the only time in my life that I can have somebody correct me without an interior motive. If my boss is correcting me, he has a motive. If my colleague sees my bad piece of work and keeps quiet, he has a motive. If anybody in my own organization is helping me, matlab hi hai. If he's keeping quiet, there is a reason. The only thing that you will get in your 18 months of career here is somebody telling you without any ulterior motive. So take my critics and take everybody, professor's critics, seriously, because this is the only time somebody is going to tell you and he's meaning good to you, right? So I'm going to be very, very demanding on the piece of work, and I expect you to pay attention. I expect you to, you don't know, but all of us spend at least 3-4 hours before any presentation is done to you, because we want to give you the best that we can give. So we expect the same from you. Fair enough?
Yes, sir.
Okay. More questions, or is that enough for today?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
I have some questions, sir.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir, with regards to the presentation which you asked us to do, so it says 10 to 12 slides, right? So what does the presentation consist of, sir? Basically, so you want us to summarize? Yeah.
Okay. Hang on. Fair enough. I'm going to randomly pick up something, okay? Star plus assignment questions. Star plus assignment. Stop share. Share screen. Okay, I just picked up one thing arbitrarily. Now, star plus, whoever has got star plus assignment as primary and secondary can look at it. So could Starbucks have reduced its prices and still made profit? Should Starbucks have gone further up to distinguish itself from a fast food competitors? Should Starbucks has stretched its band too wide? Now, I don't know why this is being asked. What effect did its competitors in? Yeah. So these are what should come out in your presentation. This is what is your analysis of this company? What is your analysis of doing this? If I look
Sir,
at
does this require any data chart, pie chart, or bar chart?
Maybe wait 1 minute. Let me just where's the Starbucks case study? Where is the Starbucks? I don't find that here. Saffola, Starbucks, teaching notes. Okay, I don't see the. What are the other ones?
It's in
Maybe I pick up
A5.
something else. Homestar case study, Baiju, Saffola.
Asian Home Electronics also.
Asian Home Electronics is also okay, right? My God, where are all the case studies gone? Okay. Spark Place. Has somebody's got Spark Place? There is Spark Place, right? Or teaching. Anybody? Do you have Spark Place as a whole? Homestar?
Starbucks is an A5.
Apple is there.
Anybody got Homestar as a case study? Snapple. Step Smart. Step Smart भी नहीं है. कौन सा?
Hello, Professor. The assignments we have are Asia Home, Snapple, Invisaware, Metabicle, Starbucks, APSA, Cape Epic. These are
yeah. I
6
know,
ones we have.
but I'm trying to figure out.
If we can figure out one from these 6, we can go through it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have put them in another place because this is a public folder. I don't want. Okay. No, okay, I don't have it. We can. We'll have to look at it elsewhere.
It's on the LMS, Professor.
How do I go to the LMS? Okay. Give me a minute. Huh? I'm sure we will do this. Give me a minute. Let me.
Sir, I pinged the link there.
Did you give me?
I've given the link.
On the chat, sir.
That's very nice of you.
I'm not sure it will open for you because it requires access. Let me
हो
give it.
जाएगा. And if you can. Where is the Starbucks assignment questions? But where is the case study? Oh, okay. Okay, I got it. Okay. In the meanwhile, why don't you also read it so that we all can replace it? Replace. Downloads. Okay, I got that. Thank you. Huh? Stop share. Share screen. Okay. So the thing is, after 20 years, Starbucks started having, can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you look at the case study, they started having a decline in market share and even the share price went down, and the company had introduced many brands of coffee. The problem was that the likely outfit the North American market only constituted. Did customers perceive that they were getting, at some point the customer started feeling that it was not value for money. That was one of the things. Was the coffee drink making them, was a coffee competition for McDonald's there? I mean, you know what McDonald's can offer you. It can offer you a very vast variety of food, including coffee. So should the company expand or do a variation? And I mean, I cannot go through the case study unless until somebody has read through it, and I can have some questions on it. So with that, what are the questions that come up? New share. Now look at this. So how does Starbucks compete with the likes of McDonald's, Dunkin Donuts, and Burger King? Now the question is here is that, do you want to be in a niche market where people walk into you for just coffee? Or do you want to be somebody who wants to also compete with McDonald's so that you also offer him a variety of food other than this? Or do you want to stay separate? My answer to it is that people walk into Starbucks for different reasons. Now, give me a reason why you want to go to Starbucks and not McDonald's. Generally, one of you answer.
Wi-Fi.
The price of McDonald's is high, as low, and the Starbucks price is high.
But my question is, why do you want to go to McDonald's? I mean, Starbucks. Somebody just gave one answer.
Corporate meeting.
So there you go. There you go is your answer for what effect does competitors have on you? I care a damn. I'll tell you, if I have time, we did a case study of Starbucks versus Cafe Coffee Day. And it was very clear that Starbucks, if you wear a college uniform, if you carry a college bag and enter into Starbucks, may not be in India, but any other part of the world, they will actually not like you. They will find a reason to get rid of you. Because whereas Cafe Coffee Day is full of young people hanging around, chatting, making very huge noises and sharing their coffees. What Starbucks said is that every Cafe Coffee Day user, when he matures, he will walk into Starbucks. So now, do you think, oh, I'm running low on battery. Do you think Starbucks is worried about McDonald's?
Nope.
Starbucks, I go to Starbucks because I want a place to be quiet. I want a quiet place to hang out. So this is how I want your answers to be. Is that helping you, our conversation now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Professor. Yes.
What factors go into calculating the price of coffee? Now tell me the answer. What factors go into price of coffee?
Cost of dairy products, coffee beans,
Ambience.
Ambience.
Yes.
fuel
Go
price.
ahead. Go ahead.
Type of customers.
Personalization.
Hygiene.
Locality.
And Uber versus Bounce. So who is Uber? Who is Bounce in Coffee Day? In Coffee Day versus
Starbucks is Uber and
Starbucks is
Coffee Day is
Uber.
Bounce.
So there you go. There you go. If you're in a great hurry and you're feeling little tired, will you walk into Starbucks or will you walk into a Darshini nearby and take a swig of coffee?
Darshini, sir.
So now, are you worried that next to Starbucks there is a Darshini?
No.
Employee cost.
You know, there used to be
Employee
an ad.
cost.
There used to be an ad by Enfield when
Marketing.
Yamaha, what's the time? We still have few minutes. Yeah, when there was an ad by Royal Enfield, when Yamaha, Honda, Kawasaki, they just were introduced. The ad said, let the boys have their toys and the men have their machines. They were very clear. Let the boys have the toys and men will have their machines. So you know what they were saying. Are you a man or are you a boy? If you are a man, what should you be driving?
Yes,
That's it.
I remember there was a rebuttal ad also about this with the elephant going. There was a rebut ad for this.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead, tell me more.
It's a Royal Enfield representing in form of an elephant. It's going slowly, but another fast-going vehicle just zaps.
It was done by Pulsar.
Bajaj.
Pulsar.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. I'll send you the links.
Okay. So that is how you will address these questions. Okay. Yeah. You may not find answers to all these questions in the thing. That is like syllabus. Syllabus mein to sir out of syllabus hai. That is the 8 pages of case study is to get you thinking. The 8 pages is like the Google Forms that I gave you today, just so that I warm you up to my conversation. I want you to start using what you have learned so far to answer what this is, right? And again,
Sir, one more question, sir.
yeah. Yes, what happened?
Sir, this presentation is going to be the real-time presentation, or we need to record and send it to you? How it is?
No. Actually, honestly, you must assume it's real time and send it to me. Otherwise, I'll end up sitting all times of the day and listen to it. Whereas I can, so you will assume that there are 3 professors sitting in front of you, and then you will make your presentation.
So, sir, this needs to be shared on LMS itself?
No, you will send me the link. You'll send me a link of your wherever you have saved in the cloud.
Right, right.
Professor,
Because that day in the class you were saying it needs to be Zoom. You are not comfortable with Microsoft
Yes,
Teams.
yes, yes, yes. So you give me a
That's
Zoom
what I
link.
asked.
yes, Professor, one question. There are few missing members in many groups. Means in our group, suddenly one person is missing, whom we are not able to contact or reach also in phone also. So for that, what do we do? Means we are a group of 10.
Celebrate. Open a bottle of champagne and drink, because it gives you greater accessibility to talk more, understand more, be more visible, and never. What is the complete the sentence? Never waste a
Moment.
no.
Chance.
Never waste a crisis is the new conversation in here, right? Never waste a crisis. The crisis is the best time for you to do. So now you have very few people, superb for you, best for you. You can talk, show your best. I would be more than happy.
Sir, one quick question. For the minor part, what's the deliverable? Is it just the PPT or?
Yeah, because we are not doing a video presentation. I just want to see how good is your PPT.
Okay.
So the presentation made will be uploaded into LMS and the video link will be sent to you, right?
Perfect, Pratap.
Yeah, thank you.
Lock kar do. Okay, all questions answered. Everything clear?
Yes,
I
sir.
do have a doubt.
Okay, Anita, your doubt.
We would have to answer all these assignment questions, a PPT, and a video presentation as well.
Is that a statement or a question?
Question.
Now make it a statement. Make it an affirmative statement.
In the sense that we would have to answer these questions in the Word document, and then a PPT and a video presentation.
Okay, no problem. You do a PPT and a video presentation. And make sure you mention your name because I will evaluate you. And how do I evaluate you? I'm going to look at the way your PPT is. So now let's assume that 5 of you. Let me pick up some names. Let's say all the V's are in one group. Vignesh, Vikrant, Vinuta, Wilson, and Dhruva. They're all in one group. So I'm going to look at your PPT and say, hey man, not bad. These guys have done well. Let me give them 3 marks. Now I look at Vinuta's presentation. I say, wow, Vinuta is not reading from the screen. She seems to know the content and she knows what is there in the screen. And she's smiling, she knows her content, she's presenting herself boldly. Let me give her another 5 more marks. Now, Vikrant Saini, unfortunately, is only reading to the slide and he is fumbling. Now I'm worried. What am I going to do? I'm going to go back, look at what Vikrant Saini has answered in all the 4 Google forms of presentation. Now, what do I notice is that Vikrant Saini has been doing some brilliant answers on the Google form. Now, where is the problem? The problem is Vikrant Saini is scared of the camera. And now what am I going to do? I'm going to ask Vikrant Saini in my next assignment to do it all alone so that I keep pushing him to stand in front of the camera more. So I will be fair to Vikrant. I'll be equally fair to everybody. And that is the way your assignment is going to be done. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Vikrant and Vinuta were just names, okay? So they were just arbitrary examples. Are we done? Can we call it a day?
Yes, sir.
Sir, final question. Pratap here
Sure.
again. Sorry. So I just wanted to know. So the video which you're asking for. So all the members' videos should be collaged into one and give you a unique link, or every individual will share you a.
All of you are okay. Imagine the following situation. You will be in a conference room all of you will stand up one by one in the conference room, go, and I'm telling you, I want you to be formally dressed. I will not give you marks if your video is not visible. You're to be formally dressed. You will join hands together, and starting to end, it will be live recording of 20 minutes. And it is like physically going and standing in front of the board. I did not do it this time, but normally my question will also have a scenario. Maybe I should have put it, but I don't want to do it now. The scenario is Starbucks is now seeking another $10 million for their expansion, and Starbucks is making the following presentation to our board members consisting of Narayan Murthy, Tata, and all that. So that is the way it is done. You all have to say, after your presentation, you will say, next will be so-and-so talking about this. And I want to see, it's a serious bit of work. Okay? Silence is the most...
Right, sir. Right. Got it.
Sure, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, good. Guys, enough of Gyan and enough of things. Do well. And I'll edit it. And in the upcoming classes, we will switch from lot of B2C. We've been doing B2C, customer, and technically B2C is a very small market. We will move to B2B, and the huge complexity of business to business thing, and we will do a lot other analysis, right? So what is that? And the best part, guys, is the Zoom call. A redo if doesn't come out well, or do repeats. Yeah, how many repeats would you do? You also have work to do. So do a good job, one shot, and just do it fair. Okay, good. Enjoy whatever is left of your Saturday, and take care. Bye for now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Bye bye.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, everyone.